Welcome in, hope you're all having a great day, and we are going to be talking about the best champions in the game. Welcome in, my name is PJ, and this is another Raid Challenge video. So today, earlier when I was streaming on Twitch, someone was talking about, oh, what do you think the best champions in the game are? And so obviously I can come in here and tell them and rattle off a bunch of mythicals and legendaries. You can say Taurus Mariska are really good, Galathier, I mean any of the mythicals are really top, or a lot top tier, Siegfried. So obviously you can come in here and start naming off champions. But first of all, when you're looking at best champion in the game, there's so many different areas of the game in Raid, so you kind of want to be specific. So like, I'm talking about a best champion in Arena might not be good in Hydra, or they might be really good at wave clearing, but they're not good in Arena. Or usually if they're wave clearing Arena together, but you know what I mean. Like just because they're good in one thing doesn't mean they're necessarily good in another thing. And with Raid, there's so many different areas. You gotta be kind of specific in where you're talking about. Because Ninja, he's a great boss damage dealer, but isn't really too good for waves or maybe for PvP versus some other champions. Like let's say Harima, where Harima would be probably better for PvP. Still good for PvE, but maybe isn't as good against bosses like versus Ninja, or you know, stuff like that, where it kind of just because you're good at one thing doesn't mean you're good at another thing. But hold up guys, now is the perfect time to click on my link in the description and get a free Karato as well as 4 more insane free epics as you level up. Here's how to do it. Step 1, log out of player and play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your first champion. Don't miss out on your chance to get a free Karato after signing up, as well as Uugo, Rector Drath, Tagoar, and Mausoleum Mage as you progress through the game. So click on my link right now and let's crush this together. And what I want to say is I think the best champion in the game is ones that you have on your account. So I can come in here and name off all these mythicals, Toshiro, all these crazy champions, Commodus, Carnage, but you don't have them, it's not going to really help you that much. So the beautiful thing about Raid is that there's a challenge that you need to do. Let's say beat Dragon 20, and you could come in there and do 100 different strategies to beat Dragon 20. Yeah, there might be one way that's the best and fastest, but doesn't mean you have to do that. There's tons of different strategies. You can do poisons, you can do enemy max HP, you can do burns, you can do raw damage. Like there's tons of different ways to get the job done. So I think that's the cool part about this game. So when people are asking what is the best champion, I always say, well, the best champions are the ones you have on your account, because that's what you have to work with. Again, I come in here, someone was saying, oh, who are the best champions for Hydra? I mean, I could say Toshiro. Do you have a Toshiro? No. Okay, well, that's not helpful. Do you have Marius? No. Oh, okay, well, that's not helpful. So, I mean, I can say the best champions, but if you don't have them, it's not gonna really do much for you. So that's when you kind of have to take a look at your account and kind of figure out what you have, make do, and beat the content in front of you. Again, first time you beat things, it might not be the fastest, and I think that's one of the really cool things about Raid, is that you can see your times getting faster, you can see your champs getting stronger, hitting harder, and I really like that about Raid. It's gives you a lot of gratification pretty quickly. Here's a great example. You have Wallmaster. So we have stage 10 Spider. I'm personally doing a solo Wallmaster because I like doing food and farming a dungeon at the same time. Other people, maybe they want to do a speed team. They don't care about farming food, they just want to go really fast. They want 10 seconds in and out, and they're going to farm food other ways. So the way you want to play it can change how the champions are that you use and the best champions in your mind. So when you're talking about just best champions, make sure you take that into consideration. The other thing is that when you're talking to people or you're talking to creators, CCs about champions that are good or not good, this game is all so relative. They might have an insane account. They might be a big spender and they have tons of time in the game, crazy gear, and they could look at a champion way differently than someone that doesn't have the time, doesn't have the gear, doesn't have the champions could look at a champion. So don't get too discouraged if you look at some of these websites and you see that the champion isn't necessarily the strongest, because they could be basing that off of the very best. You don't have the very best, that's not going to do you too much good. Again, you might in the future pull that champion, but that's super RNG and you're not going to really rely on that. And you have to make do with what you got in order to progress in the game. So be careful when you're looking at reviews as well, endgame champion reviews. A lot of them I think are misleading. I wouldn't take them too much into consideration. You got to really start to understand the game and understand what works, what doesn't work, and how to make your account specifically better. Every account in this game is super unique, and I think comparing accounts can be kind of the stealer of joy or stealer of fun in this game. And there's so many factors that can go into it. RNG, money, time are usually the big ones. Knowledge as well. Knowledge in this game is very big. Not making mistakes early on can set you up better for down the line. I thought it was an interesting topic. Someone was asking what are the best champions, and I've been saying this for a little bit now, probably over a year or so. Whenever I stream and someone asks me, oh, what are the best champions, I usually start talking about this and say, well, I could say this champion, this mythical, this mythical, this mythical, this mythical, but if you don't have them, then it doesn't really help too much. I mean, yeah, they are the best champions in the game if you're talking about every single thing available, but it's kind of an unrealistic way to look at it, because usually when people are talking about what are the best champions, they're asking for champions that they can use on their accounts and champions that they can work with. So that's why when I say that, it's kind of, yes, obviously there are best champions in certain areas and the tippy top, but if you don't have them, I don't think it's really that useful. The other thing I wanted to mention was kind of like reviews, and people kind of can have a broad overview of a champion, but like I said earlier, a lot of this game is broken up into individual areas. So we have PvP, PvE, that's one breakup, and then you can even break it up into more specific and more individual things. You could go for PvP, you got Classic Arena, you got 3v3, you got Live Arena, you got Siege, and then when it comes to PvE, there's a tons of different things. You could even argue for PvP, you have Chimera Clash and Hydra Clash, because that's kind of a combination. That's a combination of, it is PvP, but you're also competing against other clans, so it's kind of a PvE aspect as well. So that can kind of factor into both PvE and PvP, but for PvE, you got dungeons, Demon Lord bosses, Chimera, Hydra, the normal clan boss, Demon Lord. You have Doom Tower bosses, Doom Tower waves, wave clearing. You have dungeons, different dungeons need different mechanics, Curse City, Faction Wars. So you kind of want to start breaking it down into individual things like that. Ideally, especially if you're early on, when you're trying to level up a champion, you want to make sure you're leveling up champions that are going to help you in a lot of areas. I wouldn't really say it's good to kind of solo out and be like, okay, I'm going to specifically level up this champion to beat a Doom Tower stage, because that would come with progress as you level up champions for Dragon, Spider, Clan Boss. They will help you start beating the Doom Tower stages or the Doom Tower secret rooms. Let's say there was a secret room. You shouldn't really be like, okay, I'm gonna level up this champion just to beat this first secret room. Or that will come as you play the game. If you're more late game, end game, that's when you can start being a little bit more specific and you have all the champions covered, or you have all the broad areas covered, and that's when you need to go in and be like, okay, this Curse City room I can't beat. I'm gonna level up these two champions just to beat this Curse City room. And I'm okay with that, because you know that every time that room comes around Curse City, you can beat it. I know a lot of people don't like leveling up champions for Curse City, and Faction Wars is another thing that started coming out where people are gonna have to start leveling up champions for Faction Wars. But in my opinion, I think it's good, because that content's not changing. Curse City is never gonna go away. The rotation is gonna come back around and around and around. So you might as well try to beat it eventually, or you'll never beat it. And I think that's just a big waste of resources. So leveling up champions as you're more progressing into the game for specific areas, I think is solid. But early on, you want to be a little bit careful of that. And again, this all is kind of breaking back down to best champions in the game. And again, breaking down to the best champions are the ones you have on the account. You don't have to be speed farming the first time you beat something. I remember the first time I beat Bommel hard 90. This was a couple of years ago. There was no Lady Annabelle. There was no Sun Wukong, anything like that to help cheese it. There was Buranguri and Taragi, I believe, but it was before they had blessings and relics, anything like that. So I don't think they actually had, I don't think you could give them good enough stats or good enough like gear to get them to do 90. They could do, I think, 60, but not 90. So in order for me to do 90, I had to use Crimson Helm. And if you guys are not familiar with the Bommel Crimson Helm strategy, I highly recommend never doing it. It's a pretty much a completely manual run. It's really tedious, and if you get bad luck, you're screwed. It's like a 20-minute run, 20-minute plus run, manual on Bommel, and if you misclick once or get bad RNG, it's over, you gotta redo it. So I beat Bommel, I think the first two or one, definitely the first time, I think 2 or 3 other times doing the Crimson Helm strategy, because that's all I had. I didn't have any other options to beat it. There at the time there was Samara Gem Curse could do it. I didn't have Samara Gem Curse, and that's also was pretty hard to do. So I buckled up and said we're gonna do Crimson Helm. I knew that the stages past that I could beat, and I wanted to get those rewards. I wanted to be able to farm Dark Fae 120, which is insane to be able to get that lethal gear to help get your damage for your damage dealers up. And I thought it was worth it, knowing that it was going to come back around, and if I didn't beat it this time, I'm not going to be able to beat it next time, and then my progress is going to be slowed down. So things like that, you want to make sure that you are using champions that are at your fingertips. And granted, you might not have the best champion to beat Bommel or beat a certain stage, but that doesn't mean you can't beat it. And I think that's pretty important to think about and kind of realize, and kind of take a step back and think, okay, there's the tippity tip top of whales and endgame players that are doing things in seconds, and that's cool. But that's not me right now, and maybe you'll get there eventually with those amazing OP champions, but maybe you won't, and maybe you're not going to pull them, and you still got to try to beat the content either way. And I think it was just a cool idea and a cool thought. If you guys agree or disagree, I would love to hear your comments. If you think that this is like there are best champions and you're clearly wrong. Like, I do agree there are best champions in the game, but I just don't think they're really doing much for you if you can't have access to them and you don't have them on your account. So just my thoughts. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit that sub button. We are closing in on 500 subscribers. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day/night, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.